What's up, beautiful souls? Hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. Your boy Loon is back with another Reddit read, and today we are back on one of the biggest series on this channel, Am I the Devil? For those of you guys that are new to this subreddit, Am I the Devil is essentially where people on Reddit find various posts across other subreddits where the OP is the obvious villain and devil, and it's oftentimes very chaotic and goofy, and it's so silly to see how people just don't have any common sense. So I'm excited to see what we have in store for us today. I have the top post of the week. Let's get into this. All right, so first post of the day here. Whoa! Sorry, my cat just jumped off the PC and that was, it's just like rattled everything. But anyways, first post of the day says, he sat down at her table. Okay. And the original post was on r/pet peeves, people who go out in public but hate the idea of someone wanting to talk to them. Okay. All right, let's read this alleged devil here. Honestly, this is just stupid. Every time I go to a coffee shop, I have anxiety because I might accidentally have to sit next to a woman. Wait, what? Wait, like what? Are you genuinely scared of sitting next to women? I'm confused. Okay, well, let's hear him out. And nearly 100% of the time, she is not okay with that. Even though I am not ugly and I don't even talk to them for the most part. Wait, so you're scared of going to coffee shops, or you hate going to coffee shops because you might sit next to a girl? Sounds like an incel or Mike Pence. All right, so we got guys aren't as bad, but yeah. Oh, he does. Guys aren't that bad. What's the difference? And like most people aren't even bothering you in coffee shops. I'm genuinely curious what his experience has been like to where he just doesn't like sitting with 50% of the population. I am just flabbergasted at what I constantly experience from women, because just now I was at a coffee shop and started sweating because the electric outlet was near a girl I could just sense was bigoted towards men. You could just sense when girls are bigoted. This guy has like a superpower. He's like, I'm bigot, man. Ah, that girl hates men. Can't sit next to her. Her menstrual cycle is going on right now. She's PMSing. Guys, PMSing. What? This is so goofy, bro. So you can't go anywhere. Because like literally, I'm pretty sure women are in almost any building. Like maybe a men's club. But then like even then, ew. I even made a big deal of looking for an outlet somewhere else and just happened to land next to her so she wouldn't feel threatened. Dude, you are such a victim. Oh my God, I feel so sorry for this guy. Well, of course that didn't help. I simply sat down and she immediately left to vape outside. She did that twice in about 6 minutes before packing up her things and leaving. You know, this guy just sounds like he has woman anxiety. Like, because more than likely, this girl hasn't even thought about you. She's living in her own life, doing her own things. The fact that she got up and to vape probably had nothing to do with you at all. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe you're not the main character here, buddy. You're just not that guy, pal. I mean, I can't help but laugh. You're in public, but hate the thought of being social with people and being friendly. Dude, you're literally projecting. That's literally exactly what you could say to yourself. Like, you think I'm going to assault you in the coffee shop? Bro, no one even thought of the A until you brought it up, bro. Now that you brought it up, now I'm thinking maybe you will. What the hell? This is crazy. Or even make a scene if you won't give me your phone number or something so we can hang out and get to know each other as friends. This is getting so weird. Oh, the insanity. Yes, we are social creatures. Yes, having people around us with stories and chances for adventure, concerts, parties, holidays, birthdays, or even artistic ventures or projects to share our creativity online is a good thing and is fun. I'm so confused where this is going. You are going to be approached by people who want to hang out with you and be your friend, even if you are a woman. And bonus, you might even get romance from it too. Okay, you know what? This is all so telling. He's an incel. He's just an incel guy who this is from Incel Tears, guys. Because he just got rejected like probably once or twice in his life and now has victimized himself. Oh my God, every girl is gonna hate me. Oh my God. Oh no, that's why they picked the bear. My experience overall is heartbreaking, and I hope we can stop this stupid misandry, sorry, the opposite of misogyny, bear-loving, man-hating, oh, that's so funny, I just referenced that, nonsense, and all just get along and not be afraid of friendship or intimacy. Brother, where is your headspace? Like, I'm just so confused. Also, I would also pick a bear if I was stranded. I'm being honest, because bears typically, like, this is like scientific, okay? More than likely are gonna be more predictable on what they're gonna do versus a guy. It could be a plethora of things. Just saying. Honestly, I would pick a bear over like some women. If it was Ellen DeGeneres, I'm picking the bear. She would yell at me. She would just start yelling at me. She'd be like, yo, you did this wrong. I'd be like, oh, jeez. Whoo. She'd be in like one of those women's suits yelling at me. That'd be intense. Most people won't want to harm you. It's stupid to think otherwise. Dude, you are such a victim, bro. Edit. No, I never sit down at anyone's table. No, I don't randomly talk to people post-pandemic. I obviously learned my lesson. Yeah, so this is all came from an experience poor dude had. Also, I was going to maybe chalk this all up to all in my head, because it is. But y'all proved my point. Most women are bigoted against men. Dude, you are the worst type of guy out there, man. Oops. His comments are full of ick. Getting professional victim vibes from his BS. Okay, I'm glad that I'm not the only one to think that. Someone says, this is what incels are missing. We can literally feel their hatred and years of vibrating out of them. Yes, they might be recently bathed, wearing human clothes, and trying hard not to call us voices to our face, but they are sweating malice the whole time, and we leave because we don't want to be unalive. Yeah, for real. Well, I'm gonna, it's hard to generalize, and I think this is gonna be a serious take on this whole ordeal. Look, at the end of the day, when you're in public as a girl or a guy, things can get dangerous. It doesn't matter where, stuff can happen at any time. Just because that's said, you shouldn't be like super anxious about every human being. There's gonna be good people out there, so at certain extent you should leave the door open to some friendship and inviting vibes, but at the same time you don't have to at the end, because it's better to be safe than sorry too. Like, even as a guy, there's often times where when I'm in a social setting, I'm thinking about the possibilities of me being unalived. And I know that's really weird and very anxious driven, but like sometimes I think about that and I can only imagine what it's like for girls, because girls also have to think about other things that I more than likely won't happen to me. So it's just normal. And it's just like so silly to think that all women should just trust everybody. All men should trust, no one should trust anyone. No one should distrust anyone. And just be careful. All right, on to the next one. Nuked relationship with stepdaughter. Okay, where original post was on r/advice. How do I get my 35 male wait, hold up. The OP is 35 male. So how do I get my stepdaughter who's 14 to talk to me? Have you tried being a good stepdad? Let's hear him out. I'm just joking. I have been in my stepdaughter's life for 8 years now. I love her dearly. Her dad has been MIA, unfortunately, and is not a good person. So I'm the father figure in her life. She calls me dad and everything. I go to all her dance events and her clarinet stuff. Recently, my wife and I had a daughter. It's my first kid that is mine, and I love her dearly and love being a dad. I want 2 more, lol, but gotta convince the wifey. I had my friend over for dinner, and at dinner, they asked how is having a newborn. I told him amazing, and I never realized I could love something so much. Ooh, okay, I see where this is going. Was she right there too? That I love her more than anything in the world, even more than my wife, but it's close. That you said that out loud? That sounds like the Key and Peele skit where you're like, look around and I said, bitch. You gotta be careful saying stuff like that, man. Your wife gonna slap you. Nah, I'm just playing. But I wasn't thinking, but everyone got quiet and I realized why now. Oh, dude, you said that in front of everyone? You are actually a dumbass. Like, I thought he said that to just his friend. You're an idiot. So fast forward a few days later, my stepdaughter asked me if I loved her. I was taken aback and said, of course. She brought up the comment at dinner and said that it made her feel like I loved my biological kid more than her. Yeah, gee, I wonder what could have made her think that way. I told her the truth because I thought she was mature enough to handle it, but she didn't. Oh no. What's the truth, bro? Oh no. I said I do love my biological child more than you, but I love her deeply. Bro. All right, we gotta pour one out, dude. We gotta pour one out for our fallen brethren here. That is the dumbest thing you could have possibly done. It's like, genuinely, do you think that you would ever, that even, okay, and I'm a parenting 101 here, all right? I'm not even a parent. I don't have kids that I know of, please. But let's think about this. Even if you thought, like, you have a favorite as a parent, You never tell your kids that. Why? Because that's how you build resentment, you dumbass. And like so many things. You never let your kids know that you have a favorite. Like even if you do, I mean, you shouldn't, but in a perfect world, but I know some people have favorites. You just don't let them know. I mean, come on, bro. She's 14. Those are her like formative years. Now she's like gonna be resentful of you and not like you, dumbass. She's always gonna think that she's a lesser than her sister. That's terrible way to raise children. Anyways, I could be wrong though. You guys let me know. All the parents, let me know in the chat. I told her that she would understand when she has her own kids. Brother, will she though? I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna adopt or, you know, take over someone's kid, you should love them as much as your own kid. But there's just something about seeing a child that's yours. I thought she was yours too, bro. She just got quiet and said that she had homework to do, but I don't think she handled it well. Gee, no shit, Sherlock. She's been ignoring me and everything. She will passively talk to me, but I asked her if she wants to get food when I pick her up from practice today, and she said no. It's stuff like that. I just get one-word answers from her. Dude, this is the easiest oh no consequences I've ever seen. How do you not understand like what you did to the results of your actions, you idiot? Yeah, let's read the comments. He's full on doubling down on his stupidity in the comments because he can't seem to understand that if a 14-year-old daughter that you or a girl that you raised and sees you as her father so much that she calls you dad, asks if you love her as much as your biological kids, you lie. That's literally what I just said. Even if you believe it, you fucking lie, bro. She put me in a difficult position. Oh, this is a comment that he said, by the way, in the original post. She put me in a difficult position. It was either tell her the truth or lie. What was I supposed to do? Lie, lie, lie. If you truly don't love your children equally and the one you love less asks, you lie as if it was your job. Literally, I'm so glad someone else understands. Dude, if I asked my parents, who do you love more? First off, you shouldn't even ask that. That's stupid because comparison's the theft of joy, Teddy Roosevelt. But even if you did, right? Even if you're 14, 14-year-olds, they say stupid things because they don't think about stuff, right? So let's say you ask them and then they said, no, I like your sister more. For the rest of my life, I will either one, try to live up to that amount of love. Two, just resent my parents and give up even trying to love them because they're not gonna love me the same. Those are terrible freaking options, man. When will a kid here at the age of 14 know I don't love you as much as your sibling and just be like, okay, I'll just work hard and love you just equally as much? You know what would have been a great response? Been like, cool, because I love my biological dad more anyways. Mic drop. That would have been fire, bro. That would have been like nuts. Even though she didn't like MIA, that would be crazy. This is how villains are born. I'm pretty sure this is the Joker's story, actually. But, all right, on to the next one. People are so stupid. All right. I wish an a-hole is all you were. Oh, okay. All right. So we were on the original post was r/am I the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for kicking my stepson out for coming home late? Like, you kicked out your stepson from the house? Like, how old is he? I'm just genuinely curious. All right, well, let's hear him out. So OP is 40, male, and his wife is 39. Got married a month ago. Wow. Fresh relationship. Let's see what happened. I have a daughter who's 16. She has a son who's 16. Oh, that's a wild thing. Could you imagine like being step siblings with someone that is your exact age? That's nuts. Also, my wife's ex died in a sad accident in 2015. Dang, that sucks. We met online. She was living in another city not far away. We started visiting each other and eventually got married. She moved into my house with her son. Her son is an amateur photographer and graphic designer. That's sick. At 16? Dudes, at 16, I was freaking playing Call of Duty and wanking off every day. This is amazing. He's got stuff going on for him. This is awesome. He has worked for a couple of small magazines and micro-influencers. Dude, what a successful 16-year-old so far. I don't know how much, but he makes money from that. He's never taken any money from me. I've never seen him take anything away from my wife either. Okay, so he's like fully self-sustainable, independent. At first, he was good with me and my daughter. We only argued twice, and the second time I somehow ended up kicking him out of the house. That's insane. Dude is on some North Korea dictatorship stuff because he didn't give him the 3-strike rule even. He was just like, here's your warning. All right, you're out the door. A 16-year-old too, by the way. Not even like 18. That's insane. I can't tell you the whole first one because then it would be over 3,000 characters. What? It's just my daughter just said something about the troubled guy he hangs out with. I warned him. He didn't argue, but he was very irritated. After that day, he continued to be nice to me and my daughter, but it was very fake. I wonder why. Last week, he had a photo shoot job and came home late. I told him that my house has an in and out rule and he shouldn't be so late. An in and out rule? Like a double with animal style, in and out style? Or like, what are we talking about here? Is there like a secret menu? What is an in and out rule? In and out rule. All right, so it's a mathematical operation, like some shit. I'm just playing. So I'm guessing he has like a rule about like, you know, coming in and out of his house. All right, he calmly told me that he didn't come because he was working. I said to him, I understand, but there are rules in this house. So you're teaching this kid that your stupid ass rules is more important than him being independent and making money. That's interesting parenting style, but let's see where this goes. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if this pays out. He said, your house, your rules, but I don't think I can follow them when I'm working. Sorry. That made me mad, and I said, maybe I need to think about some things. He responded like, what? And then call me dumb for being provoked by a kid, but I got really pissed off and said, like, kick you out. Bro, oh my God. Dude, this guy sucks. His maturity level is at a 2 out of 100 because like, dude cannot handle being poised talking to a 16-year-old. Someone that is 24 years younger than you, bro. And he's honestly, the kid's handling it better than him. His mom tried to calm him down, sorry. It didn't work. He said, think about it, I'm waiting. I don't want to tell the whole conversation, but in the final, I told them to get out of my house. He asked to my wife, do you have anything to say about this? When she said, let's sit down and talk in peace, he went to his room and locked the door. I'm just curious, if you get married to someone, regardless of the age, wouldn't you like establish that that kid is now kind of like your kid and you have to be a parent to them? I don't know. I could be wrong. This could be in North Korea. Different rules. You know, he's got a different in and out rule, so I don't know. Everybody's different. I'm more of a Shake Shack kind of rule guy, but yeah, that was a bad one. That was a good dad joke. All right, anyways, 2 hours later, he packed all his things, called a taxi, and left the house. Gee, I wonder where he even went. Maybe to an in and out. Okay, I gotta stop with that. But when I asked him to stop, he said, think twice before you speak. Dude, you're being parented by your stepson. That's crazy, bro. Think twice before you speak. Yo, that's honestly some parenting shit. That's crazy. My wife cried and begged, and he didn't listen to her either. Yeah, dude, because she chose a turd stick. A man that's very poopy. The next day, in the evening, he called my wife. He was back in his home city, staying with a friend for a while, and then renting a house. Wow, dude, this guy's going some places. Going to places way more than the freaking OP of the story, at least. God, that's amazing. He's a minor. I don't know how he's going to rent a house, but he's already not supposed to get in on a plane or bus by himself. I really don't know how he got back. What? You called him a C word? Brother, what is wrong with you? Why do you got beef with a 16-year-old, bro? Like, genuinely. You're just not that guy, pal. All right, so he says the C, calls him a C word and says, is really like one of those annoying kids in sitcoms. What annoying kids in sitcoms? Let's search them up. Annoying. All right, I got annoying kids in sitcoms. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If we're talking Malcolm in the Middle, yeah, he was pretty annoying. Urkel is not that bad. Oh, dude, no, not the girl from Modern Family. I didn't think she was that annoying. She was a Vietnamese girl. It's a tiny little Vietnamese girl. Who else is an annoying kid in sitcoms? Urkel was not that annoying, was he? Dude, no. Okay, you know what? Actually, you have a better case for saying that. You have a better case of saying Manny is annoying than I would say Lily. I think that's her name. I don't remember. But yeah, that's silly. But anyways, even then, like, they're kids. Who cares? Wife has told me before that he was very stubborn, like just like his father, but I didn't expect this much. Things have been going downhill with my wife. Gee, I wonder why. I don't know what to do. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I have to say, I really didn't mean to kick him out. Are you serious, bro? You just said it. You're like, nah, I didn't really mean it though. No takesy backs. Come on, dude. You're a grown-ass 40-year-old man. And just like he said, think twice before you say anything. I just didn't think he was going to really leave. Gee, I wonder what he would have done. Just stayed there. As you said, maybe I'll just kick you out of my house. I also wanted to have a nice conversation, but he escalated the argument so quickly. Bro, you are such a sociopath. Like, what? Are you serious right now? Like, you think you're the victim in this? This is insane. Refers to his stepson as a C word. Nice. Kid tells mom that he's working late. Mom forgets and this D-bag escalates to go full on nuclear warfare. I told you, this could be North Korea. God, I hope mom left his sorry A and stepson stayed far, far away from the both of them. Yeah, because his mom's an enabler for, not really sticking up for her son in this situation. It's goofy. He's already not supposed to get on a plane or bus by himself. He thinks 16-year-olds can't ride buses? Yeah, dude. You ever been in New York? I've seen like 8-year-olds ride like the subway by themselves. Should they be? No, but it's New York. Anything can happen in there. It's fascinating that OOP went to such lengths to avoid incriminating themselves. I can't tell you what happened. It's too long, and I somehow ended up, I don't want to tell the whole conversation, and still ended up being an incredibly obvious POS. How much worse was the full situation? Yeah, I know, right? Like, this was a condensed version too. You guys got to realize that. And it was also him definitely sugarcoating it. All right, let's read another one. This would be the last one. All right, struggle and have kids, damn it. All right, here we go. Originally, the post was on r/true unpopular opinion. The original post titled, claiming the world is too messed up to have children is pathetic and honestly, people should step it up. Interesting. Okay. I'm just gonna, predict the future here. I have a feeling that OOP is like one of those like super Christian conservative people who are like, women should always have children on this world. Why else would they here? Let's see. All these people in oh, what a start. All these people in developed countries should get a reality check and understand that for most of human history, people weren't even guaranteed their next meal, and it was a constant battle for survival. Beautiful start. I feel like I'm gonna hit with my gamble on the type of person we're gonna be talking about here. Until about 100 years ago, most people lived on peasant grains, carbs, barely scraping by in a 1 or 2 bedroom shelter if they're lucky. Most of human history, people in cold climates didn't even have enough material to stay substantially warm in the winter. People were, being unalive left and right from diseases, famines, you name it. Where are you going with this? If Henry VIII of England was alive right now, he would probably envy how good of a life you have compared to him. Well, yeah, no, dude, we have AI and stuff, bro. But yeah, where's this going? The quality of life has improved, if that's what you're trying to say. Yes, the life expectancy, everything. But I don't understand how this has anything to do with a woman's decision, or a man, actually a person's decision on having kids. This is silly, but let's hear him out. And it's silly for people to claim we have it so bad out here that we shouldn't bother fixing the world's problems and realizing we got it good here. What? This is, again, comparisons to the theft of everything, right? Because if you compare yourself, like we compare modern day to the past. Well, yeah, no, dude, it sucked back then. Does it mean that right now doesn't suck too? I don't know, bro. I don't know if you read any headlines. There's a lot of sucky things. Does that also mean that you shouldn't have kids? That's up to you. Does it mean that you should have kids? That's also up to you. I don't understand how this connects with you having a kid. But let's hear what he says. Honestly, the modern world as a whole seems like a bunch of crybabies. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna argue 99.99999% of history, there has always been people who has critiqued and probably said or even thought things about their modern society as the society that they were living in. Now, today we have social media and, Instagram and TikTok and so all that. So you see it all the time. That's the only difference. I feel like throughout all of history and also before, you would get silenced if you did say something. So like completely different things here. But anyways, so long as I'm fed oats, eggs, and clean water, I wouldn't mind having a family of 5+ children, and I would treat my family with love and happiness. I bet you this is an incel that is saying this. Oats, eggs, and clean water. Before we even continue from the rest of this, that is the goofiest diet. Oats, eggs, and clean water. I bet you he's saying that, but if I genuinely fed this man oats, eggs, and clean water, he would think that he's like being tortured. Have you ever ate plain oats, guys? Like seriously, plain oats. You're a psychopath. That's some Patrick Bateman stuff, bro. Have you ever ate plain eggs? That shit goofy, bro. Unless it was like green eggs. That's kind of funny. It's, fun, but plain eggs, bro. What? Clean water. Well, yeah, I mean that part. Yeah, I would like that too. But 5+ children is insane, dog. What is this? John and Kate +8. That is crazy, bro. 5+ children. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry that rent is milking you. I'm sorry that you're paycheck to paycheck. This guy sucks. But the reality is, 90% of the world is probably poorer than you, and most poor people survive to adulthood scraping by. This is one of the, I forgot the term in science and psychology, where people bring up an argument and they're bringing like completely irrelevant things to like contribute to their argument. But this is kind of what it is. How the hell is other people living poor and stuff affecting your decision to make a kid? Like, what? Did you not weigh in all the other factors of having a kid? Like, possibly being unalive, costing a shit ton of money. Do you ever think about that? Maybe not even having fun for your life, because and don't get me wrong, I want kids and I think that I could have fun with my kids, but I can see how some people in modern society would decide like, hey, I have a lot of things I want to do. Having a kid would set me back. There's also the career person, a lot of things, bro. This guy's a dumbass. I think he just can't, well, I not just a dumbass. I think he's very ignorant towards thinking of other people's perspectives. He's only thinking of himself in this way. And so he's like, oh, if I want 5+ children and I can have it, even though I'm poor, everybody should do that. Do you realize that if everyone in humanity had 5+ children, how terrible the world would be? Like genuinely, like resources, scarcity, overpopulate, like so 5+ kids, brother. Before, actually, and I hate to harp on this before we finish the, whatever he was saying. Before in the like primitive times, especially, well, not even primitive time, but like medieval or even, Viking era, whatever, early history, right? There was societies and cultures that would have multiple kids because it was a higher chance that one of the kids would actually survive longer because they were so low, life expectancy and stuff like that. So what is what is going on? All right, anyways, I'm so over this. Part of the human experience is trying to survive. It's better, in my opinion, to live a difficult life than no life at all. That's a loaded one. Let me finish this and then I'm gonna dissect that because I actually have some knowledge on that sentence. To share your struggles with a woman you love, your children who bring joy and happiness in your life, you modern people have forgotten the joys of a human experience. Okay, I'm gonna tackle this part right here. It's better, in my opinion, which I'm glad he said in his opinion, because it is his opinion, to live a difficult life than no life at all. So I would highly recommend this guy read The Myth of Sisyphus because it tackles the action of taking one's life and, the philosophy behind that. Difficult life is such a vague thing to say because you can't determine how difficult. And you can get into like psychological questions here. How difficult of a life would you need to have to where you wouldn't want to live it at all anymore, right? Would there be any point in that difficulty scale where you wouldn't want to live? And I'm going to go out on a whim and say probably 90% of humans, maybe even 95 would have, I'm not even saying 90, like 8%, dude, maybe 99 would have at least one thing on that scale, whether it's from a 1 to all the way to a 10, that is going to determine that they would not want to live at all. Because genuinely, imagine if you were born into I don't want to bring it into a dark world, but think about some of the darkest things you guys can think about. Imagine being born into that. Imagine being, that is the rest of your life. That is all that. Do you think you would want to live? Genuinely. As like, I'm just asking, oh boy here. And to have the stance that you think that, yeah, gee, can't be that bad. Everybody has a great time. I mean, all that. Yeah, you got to understand that everybody lives such vastly different lives that saying that any difficult life is worth living is pretty insane. But yeah, I don't have to harp on that. I know my followers and subscribers, you guys are beautiful and smart people, so I don't even need to explain. So, all right, let's read some comments before we end this. That person is 16 at the oldest. I love that. And probably a man. Yeah, I'm gonna gamble that this guy it's a guy. It's probably a guy. It could be a girl though. I have met some very conservative, goofy girls out there. They are eating them alive in the comments. Having kids and then struggling to feed them is part of the joys of the human experience. Yo, for real, dude. What are you gonna feed your kids oats? You want to create a Ted Bundy by feeding him oats and plain eggs? Apparently, us modern people are pathetic for not wanting to bring children in the world where we cannot even afford a loaf of bread. Yeah, people are struggling out here, dude, and you expect them to have freaking kids. Now, some people aren't struggling, but even then, it's their decision, dude. Who cares? I want to read the original comments. Let's read the OG comments on this dude's post. As someone from a third world country, many of us have a bunch of kids because there's no birth control or available A's. Exactly. Yeah, and back then, if half of your children were unalived, you wouldn't have CPS knocking at your door. Point is, things have changed a lot, and weighing your options isn't bad. Exactly. And it's so much more nuanced than what this guy is saying. It's not black and white. How many kids you got? I sure hope none. What people did in the past is irrelevant. Morally, it is wrong to have kids if you can't take care of them. Yeah, I hate when people try to bring up this like past thing to argue certain stances. Now, we're talking historically like repetitive stuff. That's completely fine. But when it comes to something like this, it doesn't even pertain at all. It's better to talk about the present to determine that. Okay, first of all, King Henry VIII would, no, he wouldn't. He was a goddamn king who ate the finest food, dressed in the nicest clothes, and sure, he stunk like hell, but still had the power and influence, and I, much like most of us, don't. Yeah, I'm really thinking about it, and like, let's pull up King Henry VIII. Would he want to live my life? Let's see. He is a freaking weird looking guy. His face looks like a hot potato. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I've never seen this guy. I didn't know how he looked. This dude's face looks so funny. He looks like a morphed potato. You guys ever go to the grocery store and like try to pick a potato and it looks like that? He looks like Humpty Dumpty before he fell. Maybe they made Humpty Dumpty after this guy. What the hell? Oh man, he was a fat guy. What is he wearing? A bed sheet? What the hell is this? Oh, okay. All right, I need to stop roasting King Henry VIII. Anyways, would you like to live my life? No, dude. This dude is living lavishly, bro. What? He got like freaking, hold up. How much was his wealth? 300,000 British pounds. Estimate, this is AI. Which is estimated about 60 milli per year. Dude, hell no. He would not want to live. Are you kidding me? I don't want to, I'm not going to out how much I make a year. It's not 16 milli. Surprise. Yeah, he would not like to live my life. Anyways, love you guys. That was a silly one. I love Am I the Devil? I genuinely love reading this because it's never just old. We never hear the same stories. It's always some goofy ass goobers, and it's always a new goofy goober. And it's kind of baffling how goofy goober this world can be. All right, now I'm gonna end it. I got work to do, but I love you guys so much. Hope you guys have an amazing day. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like and the hype button. If you are new to my channel, do me the biggest favor in the world and hit the subscribe and notification bell if you enjoyed, of course. We do videos like this almost every single day. Love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and week or whatever. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.